set this thing up for 12 hours from now, but we're going live now. Now. I mean, no. Welcome to the show. What show? This show. Hey, we're going to do a late night draw stream, and we'll have others joining us just, just in a few minutes. Hello, as you know, if you follow this channel, and most of you do, they chime in and listen. Some of you are at work listening, some of you are going to work and you're commuting listening, some of you are driving home and commuting, some of you are just at home and you want to be entertained. Hey, what are you doing up so late? Go to bed. There we go. Cleary the pig. New mascot, by the way. Visibility powers. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, if you haven't gone and backed Devil Flyer yet, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? I've added a 60-page new book, a sticker book based on the 70s Bronze Age Marvel value stamps. What else? I made the acrylic standee tier by itself. Free domestic shipping on a lot of those, except for the art book. The art book's going to be a little bit heavier at 60 pages. We might make that a hardback too. Pulling out all the stops on this campaign because who knows? I might stroke out and never be able to do another one. Who knows? I mean, I'm fit. I've got a physical coming up. I'm sure it'll go swimmingly. I actually lost a little bit of weight while I was gone to Atlanta, Georgia, and got to see Doc Blaylock while I was over there. That was worth the trip all in itself. Because really, I've got no reason to go to Georgia, but I had a great reason to go to Georgia, and that was for the money. Hopefully, I'll still get my $300 bonus. Lost some weight. If I shaved, I would really look like it, but I did lose a little bit of weight. Still too heavy, really, for my framework. Heaviness seems to, looking at the family run in my family, but, I've always done my own thing and always been my own man. So, hopefully Raul will be joining us. Hopefully Omer Glitch will be joining us in about 30 minutes. He's going to take a break. I am off the hump day show, and it's Thursday and it's no longer hump day. So TJ in the house. Hey man, you are up late or up early. I mean, to be the UK. Howder 6480 listening, of course. But in the chat, that's good. You taking a break, sir? I doubt I'll do any painting, but I don't know. I have these handy, ready to work on. This is what I did on the hump day show. And I was working on this on Tuesday. I'm not done with it. This is one I've got to work some more on too. On Topicless over there with Jason and Luke and all the other fine fellows that are over there. So I did that one on Topicless. I'm not finished. And after Topicless, after also on Tokame's show, Hillbilly Hangout or whatever it's called. I think my sub button works now. Okay. Hope so. Hey now. The link is pay. You know, if you want to come in and just talk and hang out with TJ or whomever, you can. I'm just going to be doing my own thing, and it's nice to have somebody to talk to as I draw. Did this one on the Hump Day show. He is part of the 43. Don't have a name for him yet, but anyway. And she's part of the 43. So a lot of the 43, I've done 1, 2, 3. I guess only about 3 out of the 43 on rounds. But, I'm getting there. I don't even have all the 43 created yet. I'm working on it right now. I'm working on another Geo. So it's just kind of blocking in the color and the scene here right now. And enjoying my Thursday. Early. I needed to put up some more content besides the 4 o'clock shadow. And pretty soon often you're keyed up after work anyway. Sometimes I get off at 3:30, sometimes 2:30, 1:30, depending on what I have to do. So, I may be doing some late night, early morning streaming, but a lot of the evening streaming, that's going to be cut out because I'll be working as it turns dark in the afternoon. I'll be turning on the sprayer and killing the mosquitoes. They're not bad yet. We've had like 83 degrees to about 53. So quite a dramatic shift from daytime to nighttime. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, some stormy weather. So plenty of rain. That means everything's greened up, a lot of coverage. So mosquitoes are going to be bad this year. I predict. I said that from the get-go, but often the showers here, at least that we normally get in April, we've gotten in May. We did get some in April. Don't get me wrong. The Mississippi was up as I came through there both times. I mean, up, around there, at least on the Arkansas side, it's just basically farm fields anyway. That rich dirt that the Mississippi brings in. But what you grow there, I don't know. There's one field there as you're coming out of Memphis and down into Arkansas. You're up high and you're coming down. And I didn't take a picture of this, but I did with my mind. I'll never forget it. There was one lone tree in this on this pasture here by the Mississippi River, or this. I say pasture. It's just teal dirt, whatever. And there's only one tree, and it was kind of overcast that day. And the light was coming through the clouds, just shaft of light, and it was at autumn time. I remember because all the tree had like, orange and yellow and green. It was like tricolored tree. It was beautiful in itself, but the light shafts were just shining down on the street, just for as I was coming off the Memphis Bridge and coming into Arkansas and coming down, I look over to the right and there's that tree with the shafts of light just highlighting that tree in that whole big field. It was awesome scene to see. And the tree was colorful as it was, but with the light on it, just wow, what a scene from heaven. It was like, wow. And then after a few minutes, a couple minutes, it's gone. The lights shifted, the clouds, and, it was gone. but I was just in the right place at the right time. You ever been there? Um, good evening, good evening. When you say that, Raul, you have to roll that, like Hungarian, so that you sound like Dracula, like Bela Lugosi. Just woke up. Yeah, 7:40 a.m. What are you, crazy? Actually, that's not too bad. You got to get your day started sometime, right? I think my sub button works now. Cool. Um, yeah, it's going to be a good morning. A good morning. A good morning. A good morning. Uh, uh, Get stuck there. Yeah, you're right. Go to TJ Stream. What? No, I wasn't recommending you go to TJ Stream. She may not even, she just woke up. She's not ready to stream. All right. So I'm going to work on mine. No one may even, care or, but got to get the work done. All these rounds will be in the art book. So if you like these, and some of these, after I get them scanned, potentially they could be put up for sale on the campaign, late in the campaign. I'm not opposed to that. Still have to generate some money, some from somewhere. And my personal goal, I would like to see. I always thought the way we started out. No, all of us in the UK are unemployed. Got me in the Dracula mod. Okay. Um. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. If you like these rounds, I've been working on for like a couple months. When I look at the very first one was done back in March. Which whoever backs the big bundle will get this one for free, along with all the other stuff there, the t-shirts. I mean, a bunch of stuff. If you don't get $300 worth of value out of that, I'll give you your money back. I'm not going to say way too much stuff in there, but I made sure that you got $300 worth of value in the big bundle, because I'm really pushing the big bundle. That's the only way you'll be able to get a Devil Flower t-shirt, a a, a Shadow Hog t-shirt, a 4 o'clock Shadow t-shirt. These things are going to be ultra rare. In fact, I mean, we've sold one bundle, but that's before I added all the stuff. So he's grandfathered in. He's going to get all that stuff regardless. But the first backer of the big bundle will get this original Bog Pog that was done March 11th of this year. And so where are we? The 22nd of May. So it's over 2 months. Over 2 months, and I've only done about 22 of these. Still working on some. Doing the coloring, and I did get a new Azure set for Geo. One reason I'm doing Geos is to try out some of these new markers, which were a lot of flesh tones and stuff, which look pretty good over the cardboard. I've noticed on previous ones, so thought I'd give it a try. Actually, put a little acrylic painting on this one, um, but for the most part, we're just going to stick with markers. But yeah, some of it calls for a little acrylic painting. But yeah, if you like these, only the first one and the second one here, which is going to be made into a Geo Slammer. And if nobody claims a big bundle by the end of it, eventually this one might go up for sale, or that one. But been working on photographs, birds mostly. Cool. Hey, Edwin, it's good to see you in here. Not everybody's unemployed in the UK. I don't believe that. Actually, this one's kind of like an anomaly because it's a little bit larger. All these other are the same kind. They're a 10-inch across round. This has got a little, like a quarter of an inch, maybe more around it in circumference, and it has nothing on the back, except the little paint where I laid it in the paint, and dated here. Well, I don't have a date on this one. I'm actually going to have to go back on the show and see when I started this. That's, but this one's a little bit different because it's a little bit larger. Um, you know, but I've had fun doing them, and I think, I've done multiple bogs. These will all be in the 10-year visual history in the art book. There's a 60-page art book that I've added to the campaign. What else? I don't even have my campaign pulled up. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, mucho apreciatos. I know Lee Stomer likes me to say that. I'm speaking his language, apparently. We are at 70 backers, $4,169, 200. I think Omer said 200% funded. We are 208% funded. So no danger in not being funded. Hey, Mikey. Huh. I hope you weren't back there too long.
Excuse me, sir. No, Rex. Yeah. I'm just not tired yet. I'm trying to knock myself out. I have a one-on-one interview tomorrow with a friend. Came over from England, and we've already met her once in person. Her name is Travel with Lisa, MH. She comes originally from Suffolk, England, and lives with her father. And every once in a while, she gets out, goes and travels. She's a videographer. So, yeah, she's taking some shots already around here, Toronto and everything. Tomorrow, we're going to go meet her down by the waterfront.
Do you have Blue Jays? Do you have Blue Jays?
Blue Jays. Yeah. Oh, you should have seen the game earlier. I was watching highlights of the game. The Blue Jays destroyed the Padres 14-0 at home.
Wow, man, that's romp. Yeah.
Poor Padres. Wow. Yeah.
If that was a boxing match, they might have called it, 4 or 5 rounds.
I would have called it after the 8th inning, because at that point they were or after the 7th inning, because they were already up 7-0. And then they added on 7 runs in the 8th inning, the bottom of the 8th. Wow. That's insane. 14 runs, 14 hits. It's the most they've done all this year.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then you have a game where they get on a streak like that and everybody gets their due in just about. And then the rest of the season, it's like,
Well, the last 2 games. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen it too.
Hopefully it'll spark something in them, though.
Well, you would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, last 2 games. I mean, the first game they played, Toronto beat them 3-0. I said, okay, all right, they had good pitching, whatever. But then, Kevin Gausman comes in, and they go 14-0. So in the last 5 games, the Padres, they've lost 5 in a row, and in the last 5 games, they have a total of 3 runs in 5 games. That's it. Yeah. And none in this series.
Out of all the sports, I like baseball the best. I know it's a slower game, but
much. Yeah.
Yeah. But baseball for me is just a lot more fun when everything goes right. It's like the Braves in the 90s. I mean, they would come down in the 9th inning, and Sid Bream's like limping because he's got that one bad leg to end the home and they're trying to throw him out. And I mean, it was exciting, end of a game. I mean, and those things don't happen that much, but like with the Braves, it seemed to happen more often than a lot. And I know what that was. A lot of it was Ted Turner's money. He could buy and afford the talent for the hitters and the pitchers. And they were just good team. And it made for excitement, because I think when you have somebody at this caliber, right?
Yeah.
Just like, let's equate it to comics. When you have professionals that I think other people are emulating, including myself, at
Sure.
least doing the crowdfunding thing, right? They see
Right.
Ethan and they see Billy Tucci and other professionals like that. And they might not
Yeah.
be at that artistic level. I know I'm not at that artistic level, and I don't mind saying that. Okay. Not a
But nothing
professional.
wrong with it. But nothing wrong with it
Nothing
because you're
wrong with it.
still
I'm still doing my own thing. And
you're
some
still doing
people
your
might
thing
like
and you're
mine over
learning and
theirs.
you're always learning. Well, that's the thing.
I
You're always
know
learning.
with the ash can on Devil Flyer, there was more than one person that said, "This is my first comic book ever." And nobody
Yeah.
can ever take that away.
Right.
That's
Right.
awesome. That
Yeah.
somebody's first comic book was something that I put out.
That's so cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And that doesn't happen every day, and I don't take that for granted. But
Yeah.
but I mean, when you have them doing such a level of artwork, I know like RT Bear would talk about it. He was saying, I got to level up. We've got to. I think that's good. I think that
Sure.
that's a benchmark. That you shoot for in quality,
Yeah.
and I think it helps. Raise every ship. If
Right.
you accept the challenge.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I'm not a very good artist. I can't draw very well.
Yeah.
But I think my strength is that I have a deeper appreciation for movies and TV and music, particularly those three subjects. I really like to dive and delve into the backgrounds of how certain movies can still stand the test of time.
Well, let's talk about a
TV shows.
remake. Let's talk about a remake. We got to talk about it. I was in the chat and watching your show recently, and I
Cool.
watched it recently, bought it recently because it was like $13, after
Yeah.
13.
So what was the remake? What was the remake you got?
Over 100-year-old movie, Nosferatu.
Oh, yeah. We
The
talked
second
about that.
time that William Dafoe was actually in a movie about Nosferatu. He did one in the 90s, early 90s.
Yes, that's
So
true.
I'm glad they kind of put him in there, to tell you the truth. And he's
I'm
just
glad they
got one of
kept him
those
in there.
unique horror-like faces anyway, I think.
Oh, definitely. Well, and the other thing too that I commented on was that Bill Skarsgård, who scared the what out of people when he redid Pennywise, for the chapter
Is that
1
who
and 2.
played the succubus or whatever?
Well, played the clown.
The
The
right.
first time.
But
Remember the first time.
I mean, who are you saying that the guy that played the remake of Pennywise played the vampire in
Yes, he
Nosferatu?
played Count
Okay,
Orlov.
I have not seen
Yeah.
that, but I have seen him in makeup. Very creepy indeed.
Oh, yeah. There was this story that he told. Well, okay, for the It chapter 1, there's that scene where they're in the kitchen or one other part of the house, that old house there thing, and none of the kids, like none of the young stars that are in that first movie, had ever seen him in full, outfit, full makeup and everything. And he was supposed to go after this one kid. So they had no idea. Well, they knew he was, going to be the clown. They all knew that, and they got along with him fine. But they had never seen him in full makeup. So when he had come in and scared the, one out of this kid, it's like, wow, even, here's the funny thing. Even Tim Curry, and I mentioned this once before, Tim Curry said, and I quote him, if I can quote him correctly, he said, I saw Bill Skarsgård for the first time, and he scared the beep out of me. So that's saying a lot. I mean, if Tim Curry, who did that 3-part miniseries of it, based on the Stephen King book, and scared people as Pennywise, well, when he saw Bill Skarsgård do it for the 2 chapters, he said he scared him. So that was.
I have not seen that yet. I have not seen that yet, but I would not, and it's not like I obsessed over all the different
Sure.
movies that have come out. Although Salem's Lot was one.
Oh, you're old to remember Salem's Lot. Whoa.
Oh,
that
actually,
was David Soul, didn't it?
Yeah.
David
Starsky and the
Soul.
Hutch.
Yeah, the guy was
Yeah.
saying, a song,
Mhm.
Yeah. And Raul and T, Raul, are you there?
He's there. He's drawing.
Oh, he's drawing. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
he might draw Nosferatu. Who knows? I like that they played him up as a plague bringer because I think that was more like what they were shooting for in the original Nosferatu movie. And
Yes.
he looked more rat like with his teeth in the middle and not out, where the
Oh, yeah.
incisors usually are.
Scar. I gotta say, Skarsgård even scared me
Well,
when
when
I
he
first
was
saw it.
feeding on the heart, I assume that's what it was because he didn't bite him in the neck. He was
Mhm.
feeding
Yes,
on the
yes,
heart.
yes.
When he went that like he was gorging himself on the,
Sure.
and they
Yeah.
would show him
Oh,
undulate, like he's
oh,
sucking
yeah.
it in. That was
Sure.
pretty primal.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a quick story about the original Nosferatu.
Hmm.
Back in the day when I was just, I wasn't even, I was already past my teenage years, so I was getting just into my 20s. And I was over in my college. I was attending ASU, Arizona State University.
Wow,
For
I
those
attended ASU here in Arkansas, Arkansas State University.
Arkansas State. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. So anyway, long story short, um, Arizona State has this little miniature theater, an art theater. So it's for art films and things like that.
Uh-huh.
And I
Uh-huh.
just remember going down there because I wanted to see Nosferatu. Because I had remembered the 1927, and I said, "Oh, and they're going to show a special version of it." But then what they did is they added the organ music. Remember? So they
Oh,
put the organ music in, they put the dialogue in, with the
little soundtrack.
construction and all that stuff. And
Hmm.
I watched that whole 2 hour plus Nosferatu with the organ music and all that stuff, and I thought it was so fantastic. I mean, I loved it. It enhanced it for me. And then,
I
of
think
course,
so,
yeah,
I think some of the scariest movies in film history have been silent movies. Uh,
absolutely,
I mean, like
absolutely,
Nosferatu was, the German expressionism with shadows and
sure,
everything, but I
yeah,
mean, that led the way. I cannot imagine sitting in a theater back in the 20s and seeing this stuff creep across for the very first time,
yeah.
the screen. It
Well,
must have been terrifying to people.
yeah.
And
Well, there was
people like a
another.
good scare.
Yeah. Well, there was in community college. I attended this cinema course, cinema
Hmm.
class. Of course, I got an A in it because I love
Hey,
movies.
Mike.
And oh, hey, Mike, how's it going, Mike Walters? I always watch his show. He's very
He's
cool.
out there
Like him.
on he's out there
Yeah,
on the West Coast, so it's not as late for him.
yeah, but it's pretty awesome when the kind of podcasts and stuff he does.
Oh
I
yeah.
really,
Oh
I
yeah.
really like Mike's show. So hey, Mike, good to see you. Yeah. So what I wanted to say was in the cinema class, we got to see Metropolis, and the
Yeah.
Metropolis, of course, that version of it
Prince
also
Lang.
already had the music background and the closed captioning in it, and we had to do a review of it. So that's
Hmm.
what basically the cinema course was. Is most of the time we had to play our own critic, and then we had to go ahead and do a report on it. And I did a pretty good report. I think I got like an A minus on mine. But I thought what was so cool, and this is the one thing that still scares me, and I know it's weird, but in Metropolis where the woman, is transformed,
Yeah.
all of that. I mean, and we're talking this is the late 1920s,
Yeah.
and to
She's got a
see
pentagram behind her.
exactly, and to
Yeah.
see like all of this, like you know, special effects, like
Yeah.
they weren't even
It must
talking
have been
about
the
them.
Star Wars of its day.
It was.
With the
I think
lights
it was.
undulating up and down her. I mean, it must
Yeah, yeah.
and her slowly rising. I
Yes.
mean, it's like, how did they do that back then? You
How?
know,
I mean,
how? You know,
right, right. Oh well, and how did here's the thing. Now, as I said, in the remake Nosferatu that I took my wife to go see, and we both thought, Skarsgård, great, Count Orloff, wonderful.
Yeah,
But when I remember the original, and I'd seen Max Schreck play it, and I was like, Schreck was scary.
he
I
was.
don't know
Yeah, I
about you,
mean,
but if you were young, and if your parents are dumb enough to put you in one of those art house theaters to watch it, and
yeah,
you see Count Orloff, the original Max, coming out of there and doing his thing, and you're like, oh man, that would give any kid nightmares.
yeah.
Anything.
Oh,
So
oh,
if you thought
definitely.
that
Yeah.
was scary, well, I'm just saying, if you thought that was scary, watch Bill Skarsgård play Orloff. Oh man. I think I've had a few nightmares since I've
Well,
seen that.
back
I
then
kid you not.
it was all about uh movement
Mm-hmm.
because there weren't it wasn't talkies yet,
Right.
silent movies, so you had to exaggerate what you did anyway
Sure.
in your acting. Silent actors
Mm,
were a little bit different in how they delivered things, which kind of look jokey to us now, but they really
Yeah.
did have to kind of exaggerate, to get like a big theatrical thing. But
Yeah.
uh, did don't you think that maybe on the remake that the mustache and the beard that kind of threw me off a little bit? I think they were probably
Yeah.
going for the original Vlad the Impaler look on that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sure. That was just kind of I think it was just a minor infraction. I didn't pay
Well,
too much
I'm just saying that I think
attention
they
to it.
had homage because when you look at the story, it's very close to Dracula, Bela Lugosi's Dracula, where except
It
that the
basically
estate
is
that he
like an
bought is in
introduction.
Germany
No, I
instead of
totally
England.
agree. It's like an introduction to
Yeah,
Dracula himself.
yeah.
Yes,
Well, I
I
mean, it was
agree.
kind of
And
wasn't Nosferatu. I mean, they lost the lawsuit. They were supposed to destroy all the
copies,
movie reels, and yet some
copies, yeah,
survived somehow.
sure.
And we still have that classic today, which, uh, but and it's amazing that people are like going, not enforcing that and destroying it anyway, because
I guess.
they did win the
Well,
lawsuit.
yeah. Well, if you don't mind, I want to mention one more silent movie that really got my fascination back when I first saw it,
Okay.
when it was redone, and it was Birth of a Nation.
Oh
That
wow,
thing
yeah.
really just blew my mind.
Have you
You
seen
know.
any other D.W. Griffiths movies?
Um, let's see.
Intolerance or some of
Fly
the
me. Oh
others?
well, flight to the moon. I've
Yeah,
seen that old one.
yeah.
Um, yeah, Birth of a Nation,
Birth of a Nation,
Nosferatu.
yeah. That was the
Uh,
first movie shown in the White House in 1915 when Woodrow Wilson was in office.
right?
Very first
I didn't
movie.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Woodrow Wilson. That makes sense. I
Yeah,
thought the
because he
Birth
was
of
a
a
massive
Nation.
racist.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Hmm.
But I thought Birth of a Nation even then was quite shocking because that was one of the first things we started to learn in cinema class
Well, when
was
it
about
starts out
early.
in ancient Babylon. Do you see all those sets and all those extras? There's thousands of them. It's
Oh,
amazing.
absolutely.
D.W. Griffiths had these big epics like Cecil B. DeMille did during the silent era. It was awesome. Have you
Mm,
seen The Flood? You can watch The
sure.
Flood over on YouTube here.
Well,
I have not
yeah,
completed that, but that was awesome.
yeah, but don't forget they at one time the original Ten Commandments. We're not talking the one with
Yeah,
Charlton Heston later on.
right,
We're
exactly.
talking the silent Ten Commandments.
Also done by Cecil B. DeMille.
Correct. And I'd seen that too. And I was like, this is fascinating. Like,
And Ben Hur was done
all of the
that way
20s and
too.
30s. Yeah,
Hmm.
everything. Well, even the talkie, right? Even when the first talkie jazz singer, right, with Al Jolson,
Right.
you get a chance to see that. You got to watch it in its entirety. The the un the unmixed version. You just got to see the original talkie version. I don't know if if that copy still exists anywhere because I think
Yeah.
there's a modified version of it. But the thing is that watching that, listening to him sing, and you're going, okay, this is him, literally talking and singing, and that's not something we saw for a while in silence, obviously, in silent films. But then when it came, it was
Yeah.
for it. That was the Star Wars for its time, because that was the
Oh, yeah.
first talkie picture, and and a lot of people said, well, why should that be? Because I think some people were racist about it, the way they were. Well, I'm not saying outwardly racist; they were having racist undertones, but that's what it was about when Juleson brought it out. And I was like, well, maybe it was in defiance. I don't know. I still think it's a great film.
Oh,
I still
Raul
think it
says
stands
wings.
right up
Yeah,
there with
that's
everything.
another one. That one on the first Academy Award
Yeah,
awards won Best Picture. Wings,
yeah, Wings
absolutely,
did.
with the zoom in
The
and
zoom in
everything.
and that, yes, yes. Oh, here's one for you. Battleship Potemkin. Do you remember that one? That silent film? Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
epic stuff, man. And people don't know what they're
Just
missing.
just just
And I
amazing. I
really
was
believe that Charlie Chaplin really made movies, showed people in his silent movies what could be done in movies. He was one of the first
oh
ones to
yeah.
do it. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
genius level stuff. He would take 2 years or so to make a
Oh
movie,
yeah.
and he was about getting it right, perfect, and
Yeah.
amazing that he acted, directed, composed, performed. It's just, amazing.
Well,
I'm just
my
in
my
awe.
two these
Steve
have always
TJ.
been my yeah, these have always been my two favorite Charlie Chaplin films. One is of course Gold Rush, which is
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
So for its time, for me, it's one of those timeless films. And
mhm,
then one of the few that he got to talk in was The Great Dictator. Oh,
yeah.
come on.
Oh,
You,
definitely.
you don't get emotional when you hear that speech that he gives to the German people, and I'm like, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, and
Even
not
for
just
that
German
time, and I was
people,
like
but to the
1920.
world at the time. And Time Magazine, I think, called it one of the top 10 movies of 1940. Uh,
It absolutely is.
and really, it was the death of his old character, the Tramp, which
Right.
was a Jewish barber, was kind of like a surrogate for that. Uh,
Yes.
I don't know which one came. I mean, he's got 3 movies on the top 100 list. Nobody else has that.
I know. I know.
I mean that
Well, I
that
thought the tramp did come before that, right? Because as far as I know,
oh, the Tramp.
I
I
was
mean, the Tramp's what made him a household name. He was at one
right.
time like Jackie Coogan, who played the kid with him in 1922. They
Yes.
were both at one time the most, or Charlie was anyway, were the highest paid actors in Hollywood, and Coogan was too when he was a kid. And then
Right.
he was the best known person in the world, even above the president. More people knew
Right.
who Charlie Chaplin was than anybody else in the world.
Yeah.
He was
Charlie
that
Chaplin. Well, and
well
the
known.
other one who was yeah, well, the other one who was like that, Rex, was Buster Keaton.
Yeah.
Buster Keaton was doing his own stunts before anybody else even thought
Oh,
about
absolutely.
doing
He
their
was
own
putting his
stuff.
he was putting his body through a grinder.
Harold Lloyd before that. I was like, Keaton, Lloyd, all these guys, Chaplin, doing all their own stunts. Yeah, we weren't even talking about stuntmen or women. This back then, this was something that was quite extraordinary that they could do their own stuff and not get hurt. But I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure they did. They can't tell you they didn't get hurt. But yeah, Lloyd and Keaton and Chaplin are right up there.
Yeah, I mean
The best stunt
Lloyd
people.
Lloyd really hurt his brand when they wanted to put all those movies on TV,
Sure,
and he wanted
sure.
like $100,000 for one showing. That was just, and hence his name is not as well known as Chaplin or Keaton or some of the others that came out of the silent era.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite uh, martial artists is
You want
Jackie
me to
Chan.
pose for
Always
you,
has been.
bro?
What's his, I'm
I
sorry.
think he's drawing me.
Oh, is he?
Does he want me to pose? Got a little Kirby
Yeah, there
foreshortening.
you go, Raul.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to mention that one of
Put
my
the mojo
favorite
on.
martial artists has always been Jackie Chan. And Jackie Chan draws from the ones we just talked about. He draws from Lloyd, he draws from Keaton, he draws from Chaplin.
Yeah,
Um,
slapstick. I
yeah,
mean, you had Laurel and Hardy.
Laurel
You had
Hardy,
the Three
Three
Stooges.
Stooges. Yep.
Absolutely, Bud Abbott
Abbott and
and Abbott
Costello.
Costello. Yep.
Oh my gosh. I had this debate with someone about uh, who was more popular, Abbott and Costello or Laurel and Hardy. And I had to think about it. And I said, you know, Laurel and Hardy for their era, the time frame of
Hmm.
movies they did together was fantastic. But then Abbott and Costello brought their own form of a genre into it, which was more less pratfall, but more
Yeah.
uh, you know, comedy into
Well, you
it,
had Abbott
adding to
playing
what
the
they were
straight
already doing.
guy, and then you had the goofy guy playing off of him.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And that's what I told the guy who was debating this with me. I said they were unique in their own period of the movies and what they did and on radio and stuff.
Did you
And
know
I
that
said,
Hardy was the
yeah,
original Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz silent series?
yeah,
He was born in Georgia. He was American, and then of course
yeah,
Laurel. He was teamed up with Chaplin early on in their careers. They knew each other for a very long
sure,
time and were
sure,
friends.
yeah.
Uh,
I I've always said though that when it comes to Wizard of Oz, Uh, I really wish if there was a what if for Wizard of Oz, I really wonder if Buddy Epson, who tried to get in the first time, but
yeah,
he was allergic to the
to
paint and
the
everything that was put
to
on
the
him.
paint. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I always wondered what if Buddy Epson had decided and he was able to overcome
Well, I mean, he was
his,
a dancer. I mean, he it would have been a
yeah.
different scarecrow, but I think Buddy would have pulled it off just
Oh,
great.
I
You
think he
know,
would have done it just fine.
yeah. I mean,
I
he had to be kind of, you know, and I mean, he
yeah,
definitely could do that. And Jed Clampett, uh, on the Beverly Hillbillies for so many years, and he could
sure.
definitely dance. He was a dancer,
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and Bert Lahr, who played the Cowardly Lion,
Hmm.
was actually he was a voice actor. He sang opera. He did all this. He did Broadway and everything. He was destined to be that. I think that was a perfect choice for
I
the
do
for the
too. Yeah.
lion.
I
And I yeah. And
That
speaking of
lion suit weighed 90 pounds on him.
yeah, exactly.
That's not easy to act through when you got that much weight pressing down on you every minute, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, exactly.
And
Well,
and and,
and
and
then
it's not like
yeah,
you don't have it when you're not filming. No, you're in costume off camera and on camera.
sure,
And those big
sure.
set lights, he must have been roasting alive.
Oh, I can guarantee you he was.
And then all that
Especially,
snow,
well,
asbestos, folks.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Jeez.
that part that in the movie, if you watch really carefully and you
Hmm.
notice how he's pacing back and forth, I've always said this when he does his song about the king of the forest, that thing,
Uh-huh.
and he is pacing like he is uncomfortable. Like he's doing that on purpose because, first of all, you have no air conditioning or anything going through the costume. He is
Hmm.
complete, like you said, he's completely in costume. He is burning up in there. So if you
Hmm.
watch really closely, this is the thing that I always point out. If you watch really closely as he's singing the song, he's supposed to stay there in one place. He's supposed to do the platform and then he's moves on. He's doing it the whole time. He's uncomfortable. You can tell it in his movements, his his appearance, the way he's going. The only thing that stays steady is his singing, which is
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
because I can never do that. I was like, I've been a singer for since 1996, so for it'll be 30 years next year, and I still cannot hit what he did. like getting up there in
I've
a
got a
falsetto
theory,
and doing that.
Mikey, that if you can do comedy, if you can get people to laugh, you can do just about anything. Look at
Oh,
Robin
goodness.
Williams and his career. He could do serious or he could do very
Yeah.
comical or in between. He was a great actor. Look at Mel Gibson. He's another one. He can do comedy. He can do serious. He can do the whole range of emotions. He can make you cry. I mean,
Absolutely.
Chaplin could make you cry. City Lights, one of the best endings ever in any movie, bar
Oh,
none.
still is. Still a good
Still
one,
is.
yes.
And he was
Yeah.
doing a semi because it had a soundtrack, but he was doing a silent movie when they were all talkies.
Wow.
And he wasn't done with the silent era, and people still went to watch it. Modern times, still the same thing. It's a silent movie after talkies.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
Caleb.
It's still good. Oh, hey, Caleb.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for dropping that. Zelda Williams,
Yeah,
his
thank you.
daughter, is good at making films, Raul says.
Yep. Zelda did good. What was
I
Raul? What
never
was the name of the
I
movie
think that
she
was a
just put out?
big shocking. They had a suicide hotline, and after Robin Williams was
Oh
told
yeah,
to
Lisa
have
Frank.
committed suicide, they had a record 100,000 call-ins that very day. Because I
Yeah.
think it shocked the nation that Robin Williams was gone and gone so young, and he was so talented. I mean, he used to crack me up on Mork and Mindy. I was rolling in the floor just listening to his improv. He was off the chain,
Yeah.
and you
My
just don't get
parents.
that in every actor. His
Yeah. Well,
timing.
like.
The thing about the
Yeah.
comedians, their timing is just so on.
Oh well, he was on all the time.
He was on all the
There
time. He
was. I
couldn't turn
don't
it
think
off,
there
right?
was. I don't think there was ever a moment. Somebody can debate that to me or correct me, but I don't think there was ever a time that Robin Williams was off. He was on,
He was
like
on, yeah.
all the time. Like when I
Mhm.
like the first time, you remember when he was on Happy Days, okay? So he
I do.
introduced himself the first time, and I was like, "That's amazing! Who is this guy? It's amazing. He is
Mhm.
he's on point like every single time. Never delay, never a fault. He's just completely hilarious. And you wanted him to succeed against Fonzie. You wanted him to go like this and deal with him, whatever.
Right.
And you wanted that because this was somebody who could, on a whole physical level and on a mental level, because he was so smart. Oh my god.
He
So on a
was. He
mental
was
level,
quick
he was
as a
just
whip.
like quick, very quick.
Very quick.
Um,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but he was one of the last great comedians we lost, and I don't
Yeah.
think there's anybody that can replace him. I don't think there is anybody. There isn't. That's my opinion. But I'm just saying, like, we still have people like Jim Carrey, Paul Reiser, Jerry Seinfeld. Okay, you know, uh, whoever's out there right now left, Dave Chappelle. You know, but these people are only unique to what they do. Robin Williams was the last of the greatest, and that was it. When he died, we all lost it. Now comedy would just went into a holding pattern, and that's all it's been doing since then, since his
Mhm.
death. We drove through his Suzanne and I when we were coming back, moving here back to Canada, and we drove through the Robin Williams Tunnel. And this was a tunnel that had never been named before. It was called the Bay Bridge Tunnel. And my parents had driven us through it as kids when we went up north to hang out in our cabin we had up there, Blue Lakes in Ukiah. And I mean, but this was the first time I'd seen the actual sign that said Robin Williams Tunnel. And it said, "Okay, honey, we're going through the Robin Williams Tunnel." We always wanted to do that, so that's just something off the bucket list, for homage to him. Yeah,
I got to show you
I really
this.
do.
We talked about it.
This
Here
is
it
from the
is.
great dictator, right?
I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible.
Is that
Jew,
loud enough?
Gentile, black man,
I can
white
hear
man.
it. Yes.
We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty.
Well, that was cut short a little bit, but
powerful
nonetheless.
But still wonderful,
still
devastating, but wonderful. And you embrace it because you say, well, was he a bad man? Yes. Well, I mean, he did what he did. But the thing is, he was trying to do it to improve the country. And I mean, part of my heritage is German. So I always feel like I have to apologize constantly, profusely, for my ancestors doing what they did in World War II. And some people said they weren't even aware of what they were doing.
And World War One. I mean, World War One as well.
Sure. Yeah. So yes, I mean, anyone with our German heritage. I'm French German. I had relatives who fought as French resistance fighters. During World War One and Two, and especially during World War II. And some people don't realize the region that most of my French relatives come from is a place called Alsace-Lorraine, which is right on the border between France and Germany. And that region was neutral. I don't think there was a lot of fighting there. In fact, very little, if I recall correctly. But it was a very neutral territory, somewhere sort of like Switzerland was, when they stayed neutral.
Really, Swiss. I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. And what is about in Alsace is Lorraine is there's a lot of vineyards, and my family name is Fournier. And the Fourniers are known for three things. They're known for agriculture, they're known for royalty, and they're known for the military. That's the three things they've always done. And that's, I mean, it's unique. It is. And like I said, it hurts me to realize that, relatives I would have related to us in both France and Germany were at each other's throats. I mean, when the Germans walked into France, walked through France, basically, and just, la-di-da, and strolled right through, and they take over Paris and all this other stuff. And you were like, whoa, yeah, you're in shock. You thought maybe the French gave up or something too easily. No, they were overwhelmed at first, but then they prepared themselves later on to try to take the country back. And I think they finally did succeed once the Americans got the foothold and got
Well,
in
they
there.
had the Maginot Line. They had, I
Yeah, but the
mean,
Maginot Line was a joke. You know that.
yeah, I know that, but I mean, I think they were, like you said, shocked that they could get past that the way it
Absolutely.
happened. That it was,
Yes.
they just a blitzkrieg. I mean, no one had
Blitzkrieg.
seen. Yeah, exactly. And it was like, wow, they're on my doorstep before I know it. And
Well, that's what first happened right to the Poles, to the Polish,
mhm.
Poland. They got from, and then you saw, Sudetenland before that. You saw the other, um, Austria was fine with it. They said, "Oh, sure, sure, come through, do your thing." You know, um, they had all of that. Czechoslovakia, quickly. All of this stuff was just, taken over so quickly, and people weren't prepared at first. They
And
didn't.
they
They
were
didn't
on
realize they,
amphetamines. They were on amphetamines at the time.
they were. Oh wow!
Yeah, the
So those.
Nazis were. Yeah, that's
Well, that totally makes sense
I
then.
mean, that
Yes.
doesn't make you hungry. You got more energy, and it was a brand new wonder drug, and they were giving it in the kits, and you could buy it at the pharmacies. That you're feeling
Yeah.
depressed, a little listless today. Hey, take this, and yeah, that'd pep you up. All right, you're on amphetamines. You're speeding.
Yeah.
How many
I,
people blew their
go
hearts
ahead.
out? They were young, but there's probably a few blow their hearts out on the
That's
battlefield.
the other thing that yeah, that's the other thing that bothers me the most. When uh when Adolf realized that he was already gonna lose, right? So he retreats back into his bunker. But
Hmm.
he asked all these young kids to stand up and fight, these older men who had no idea. I mean,
Right.
most of them were with
The
canes and
Hitler
things like
Youth
that.
Movement.
Exactly. But he's
Hmm.
asking all of these kids and all these old people and stuff, fight to the death and all that. I was really shocked by that. That's one of those things that really still bugs the hell out of me. Is just why would you ask your women, your children, the last resort people, because you've sacrificed so many men, you've killed off so many Jews and things like that. But
Right.
now you're asking your own women, children, and seniors to fight for you, to die
Yep.
for you.
Yep.
I yeah,
So, what do you
that
think about this recent news, fairly recent, old, whatever, that they're saying that Hitler actually escaped and we knew it, to South America?
do
Is
I
that a
believe he escaped to South America?
Yeah.
It's possible. He could
Yeah.
have had well, there was this rumor that both Ava Braun
Yeah.
and Adolf, to some extent, had body doubles ready.
Yeah.
And when they knew
Yeah.
that all was lost, they were going to escape. But before they escaped, they were going to make sure that these body doubles uh, were as close to them as possible,
Hmm.
and in appearance and everything. And then they were, and then of course their bodies were burned, right? And they were burned beyond belief. So
Right.
you wouldn't even know. It's possible. I mean, I that's all I can say. It was a possibility.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, Charles
I know
Mangala.
I know some made it. I know that some made it to Argentina.
Yeah.
I do know that some made it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like Mengele did, a couple other people.
Right.
Yes, they did. So, but then eventually they found them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Argo
And
is a great film. Have you ever seen the movie Argo? Argo is a great film.
um, maybe when it came out, maybe. Uh,
Hmm. Then what was the other one there?
was that with Ben Affleck? Did he do Argo?
Yes, yes, yeah, with Argo. Uh-huh.
Okay, I thought it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
And there was a movie before that which talked about the Israeli hunters that
Oh yeah.
that went out after to go
Hmm.
find. Yeah, and I can't remember the name of that movie. It's driving me nuts. Hmm. Well, anyway, yeah, there was a few movies like that. I liked them both. I did.
Was
Yeah.
it a short trip? Driving you
Yeah.
nuts.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But let's see. What else can we talk about? Well, are you going to see did you already say you're going to go see Superman when it comes out in July?
Well, let's see. What was the last movie I watched? I actually went to go see a movie. Not to. Oh, I saw a couple movies with my sister when she came in. That was the first movies I'd been in a long time. We watched one on a Sunday night and on a Monday night,
Hmm.
and that was Chosen. So it was a try. And Friday night was the third one was going to drop, and they dropped a whole season. Like the first one was like 2 episodes, the second one was 3 episodes, and the last one will be 3 episodes. That'll make 8 episodes because one
Oh,
season
sorry.
is
Yeah.
is a and they release them in the theaters first. Um, and there was other things out. Everybody was Minecraft was sold out.
A Minecraft movie was actually pretty decent.
Yeah,
Yeah, we saw it together, Suzanne and I. We thought it was a pretty decent movie. Jack Black was hilarious.
yeah.
Who knew that Jason Momoa was actually a comedian? I I never would have guessed that.
Well,
But
I know it was a
but they
big
did a
seller.
wonderful. I'm sorry.
Hi, Apex. I know it was very popular, and I know good reviews, and I think you've seen Thunderbirds
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen
or,
Thunderbirds
or
yet.
Thunderbolts. I'm sorry, Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we haven't seen that yet. I think we're just going to wait till it comes out on DVD and get it. But
yeah. Well,
yeah,
I've
we haven't
I've
seen
heard some
it.
good things about it. You know,
Yeah, I have too. I've seen some trailers and it looks good.
I know a lot of
Yeah.
people take a hard stance and they say, "New Disney, yeah, old Disney, okay," and some people even have trouble with that. But
Yeah.
they don't want to support Disney. Uh,
Well, I think we added ourselves to the populace that like Deadpool and Wolverine. And we
yeah,
own that movie. And I think it's still one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. I
the,
just think it's got all the parts. It's got your drama, your comedy, your horror, your
is that the first one or
romance.
the last one? The second one?
Well, it's the third one.
Oh, the third.
The
Oh, the
I
third one
love.
that just came
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. The
with Hugh
first two
Jackman.
Deadpools, right?
Yeah,
The first two Deadpools are great, but when you get to this Deadpool Wolverine, which is basically the third of the trilogy,
mm,
and it's just fantastic, and it's earned its pay. It's over $1 billion now, some odd. I think it's like close to, I want to say 2.5 billion. I think now,
Do you think
uh,
theaters will?
worldwide.
Do you
Yeah,
think theaters will recover after the pandemic hit them so hard?
could be. Yeah, sure. Well, there's a lot of different movies that are now being released, right? That were made during the pandemic, but then were not brought out. I mean, they were just kept in reserve. Well, I'll
Yeah,
give you a good example. Do you remember back in the day, the Toma Pictures that did Toxic Avenger? They did
yeah,
like 3 films. I've
yeah.
seen them all, so I was like, ah.
They're
But
doing a
anyway,
remake, aren't
they
they?
were funny. Well, they were. Here's the thing: those 3 films were so bad, but they were so bad that they were funny. And
Right.
I mean, the guy that played Toxic Avenger was great. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to bring out Toxic Avenger on August 27th of this year. This version of Toxic Avenger has Peter Dinklage as the main guy that plays
Uh,
Toxic Avenger. And then they've got Kevin Bacon, who is like a villain in this, and also Elijah Wood is in it. And that movie was supposed to come out in 2023, but hence because of the pandemic, it got put
yeah.
on a back burner and it was on hold. Now I've
Mhm.
seen the trailer for it, so I know it's coming out. And I was like, that should be interesting because I don't know. I had a fascination for Toxic Avenger.
There's
I
two
don't know.
movies I want to ask you about, and one is a movie that was the best movie in 1995, and it's a continuation of that. Braveheart. They're doing a Braveheart 2. Is that necessary
Why?
after so many years? Robert the Bruce. Do we really want to hear
Yes,
that story? I'm
I. Well, Robert the Bruce is actually
Yeah.
connected to my wife. Robert the Bruce is like uh, her maiden name was Craig, and she is related to Daniel Craig, who was just passed
Mhm.
the torch as James Bond. So after 5 films, so they are blood related. The thing
Mhm.
is that her clan, which is called the Clan Craigdon, Craigdon,
Uh-huh.
fought alongside William Wallace, and then fought more with Robert the Bruce. So
Mhm.
they're connected. Yeah. So I don't know. I What would Braveheart 2 actually prove? Other than
After
Robert the
all
Bruce
this
taking up
time
the
too,
mantle.
it was a
And after all this
1995
time.
film,
Yep,
and they're
yep,
just now
exactly.
getting around to the sequel. Why? Because the actors are still alive,
I
and to give them a job. What the hell?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The other one is that I wanted to ask you about, the Passion 2, the Resurrection. I'm actually kind of glad that they're following that up and doing another Passion, actually.
The Passion of the Christ.
Uh-huh.
And they're doing resurrection from that.
Well, I mean, they're going to pick up where they left off last time, which is the last scene of him coming out of the tomb,
Right.
from what I
So they
understand.
can continue from that.
Now, if they tell that in sequential order, I don't know. Like the visitation, the road to Emmaus, and other things like that,
Mhm.
the early acts of the apostles out of Acts. I
Yeah.
don't know, but it should be an interesting thing to see what Mel Gibson does with, something like this.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
I
show.
think that would be yeah. Hi you. How's it going?
Hey, how we doing, y'all?
You have video now?
Sorry.
Uh, uh,
You have video now or Hugh or
What?
oh there's Raul. Nice.
No, I just wanted to say, like, Heil Hitler, fuck the niggers, fuck the.
yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Whoops. Wow. Oh wow. Where'd that come from? Where did he
Nah,
come
don't
from?
need that. Don't need that.
No, definitely not. Oh wow, Apex. Is that true? Jim Caviezel's coming back to reprise the role of Jesus?
Yeah, he
Ah,
is. He'll be in that. Yeah. I don't see how
wow.
you could do a Passion 2 without it.
Yeah, without him, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Apex said kicked. Yeah, exactly. Come on, man. You just don't come on there and start spewing about that. No, no, no. Mm-mm. That won't be tolerated. No, we don't do that. Let's see. Well,
Sorry.
the last few movies that Suzanne and I have seen, actually are basically horror.
Hmm.
Ah, wow, that's cool. Did you just make that? That's
Yeah,
cool, man.
that's the one I'm working
Nice.
on now.
Oh, cool. You're still working. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
So
that's the one I
yeah. So
finished before the show.
right,
Uh,
that was a good
oh,
one, which I
that I
liked.
did
Yes.
over on the Hump Day show. Uh,
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
and this is
And
one that
what's the
I've
one you're still
worked on.
working on? What's the
Topic
one?
list, still working on this one. Yeah.
Still working on that
Still,
one. Okay.
still working on this one. This one's not done yet. Still working
Sure.
on this one here. She's also part of the 43.
Wow. Nice.
Doing a little acrylic painting with her hair there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's what you should do with that one. Sure.
But the start of the series was with this one. That's
That's
Bog.
always been one of my favorites, believe it or not.
And we've got Geo,
Geo, yeah. Mm-hmm.
and one from my sketchbook, a character called Thunder Rock.
That reminds me of the early Cylons.
Zeitgeist. He's a villain. He's part of the 43. Zeitgeist,
nice.
yeah.
Zeitgeist.
Another Bog one because I'm doing some Bog Pogs.
Bog pods, yeah.
Mhm. You know it's Bog
Those,
because he's always
you
got
know
two
what you do?
twigs in his, always
Yeah,
two
you know,
sticks.
Rex, you do such a great job with those red eyes, though. Like
Mhm.
they're piercing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah,
yeah. Um, this is one of my favorites actually that I've done a Bog. You know, and
yeah,
these will be
that's one of my favorites too. I like that one.
these will be um in the art book, available in the art book. And maybe I'll put some of them up for sale later on the campaign. Um,
Yeah.
just trying to get some of the you know characters besides Bog and Geo because I draw a lot of them. Um,
And the one before you showed before that looked like the guy from Space Ghost. The one
yes,
before.
Motar,
Yeah,
yeah.
Moltar, exactly. Yes.
Twisted Man. I had already created this character, but
Oh,
uh,
nice. Nice.
he's going to be one of the 43, which was kind of a Nazi super soldier project, and then there's
Yeah. Yeah, see,
there's
with Suzanne and I having a limited budget, we're able to afford going out, once a month, sometimes maybe two times a month to
hmm
see good films. The last two films we saw were horror films. Uh, one was, yeah, these are amazing, guy, totally amazing. Yeah, one of them was called, one of them was Nosferatu, and then we saw Until Dawn, and Until Dawn is a really bizarre horror film. And what it does is it places you in this old town,
hmm
which had been devastated by a mine explosion. And what has happened is this one guy who is played by Reese, well, not Reese Fons. Who is the other guy? Peter Stromer. Okay, so Peter Stromer plays this scientist guy, and he used to be the doctor in the town, but somehow he survived by making sort of like a pact with the devil in a way, but not really the devil
hmm
himself. It was more of a uh, spirits, dark spirits, and basically these five teenagers. You know how that always is with teenagers, but they end up in the town and they get trapped, and it comes down to uh, these different they keep dying, but then they keep coming back to life, and
How dare they?
they've been there for like 14 straight days and haven't been
hmm
able to escape. And what it came down to was one of them had to die in order for the rest to escape, but somehow
hmm
they were able to fix it. I don't know if you'll ever get a chance to see it, so I won't spoil it for you, but the ending is quite a twist, and it's called Until Dawn, and it's really it's like a horror psychological thriller. It's really, it keeps you on your toes. It really does. Yeah, the whole through the whole film.
Is it
You
is
don't know
it
what's happening.
based on any former movie that you can tell, or?
That I can tell.
hmm
It has shades of Groundhog Day, but it's done weirdly. Like I said, people have to die, and when they
Uh-huh.
die, they restart you. So this is the whole town was caught in a loop, because when everybody died, uh, you know, except for the doctor himself, somehow he escaped it, but he got drawn into bringing other people because he kept dying and couldn't escape. So what he wanted to do was bring other people into it. So they were drawn in. So yeah,
hmm
like I said, it's got shades of Poltergeist. It's got shades of, like I said, Groundhog Day, where everything repeats itself,
Uh,
and shades of a time tunnel, which is interesting.
oh
But it's
wow.
the
Yeah.
whole town itself. But it's the whole town itself that is one big time tunnel. It doesn't stop until they finally are able to escape. But I won't say how. So you're gonna have to,
Was
if you
it
wanted to
moment?
watch it.
Was it
It's
Memento?
called Until Dawn.
Was it
Yeah.
Memento that it kept repeating, or he couldn't remember, or what?
Memento, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure
What
it
did you
used
think
some of
about that
those.
movie?
I liked Memento. I did.
Yeah.
I liked Looper. Looper was fantastic.
Yeah.
Loved Looper. Uh, Jumper with Hayden Christensen. it was okay. It
Yeah.
was okay. I didn't really mind it much, but it was all right. I wouldn't call it the worst movie I've ever seen, but it wasn't
Mhm.
that great. I did like Looper though. With somebody had mentioned that to me, and I said, "Oh yeah, the one with Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who plays a younger version of himself," which I thought he did a great job. He really did.
What movies, Mikey, do you think, I mean, that you would like to see done that hasn't been done?
Oh, you mean anything from the past?
Yeah, just, I mean, those times when you say they should make a movie about this, but no one's ever done it. Like, here's an example. I wanted in when I watched Mice and Men. I don't know if you've seen that. Of course, there's many different
Of Mice and
iterations
Men?
of
Well,
Mice
there's
and
many
Men.
versions.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've
Well, the
seen those.
one with oh, Malkovich in it. I said
John Malkovich.
he could do Jackson Pollock. And yet
Yes.
when they did Pollock, it was Ed Harris that did it. But
That
the
did it.
reason I
Yeah.
said Malkovich could do it, I said because he's got the acting chops and he looks so close to the artist.
Yeah.
Ed Harris, not so much. And I think it was so movie with Pollock,
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I really think that Malkovich could have done back in the heyday when he was younger, did a great Jackson Pollock,
Oh,
and had
for
that
sure.
volatility about him, you know.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
um,
Um, I
are
think
there
there
any
was
movies like that you've said, man, they should do this,
well,
but they're not?
actually, there's a book that they should have turned into a movie right away.
Yeah,
Um,
well,
and
tell
it,
us.
it involves the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah,
Um, First of all, I don't think they ever should have made those sequels.
yeah.
Just to be
A
honest.
lot of people say that. Yeah,
hmm I don't think they should have made them. I think what they should have done
you're not a Jar
is
Jar
if
Binks
Lucas.
fan. Come on.
Well, what I'm saying is, if Lucas was really into the books because he really appreciated,
Right.
um, Kevin J. Anderson, Timothy Zahn. He appreciated all these guys that created such great stories, but people will say, well, they're not canon. Okay. Well,
Mhm.
one of the first books I read was called True Sepultura, and it's where the um, the remnants of the Imperial Empire and the rebels faced one major enemy called the Shiruk. And I was like, you know what you could have done is you could have taken out Solo, a Star Wars story, which is
Yeah.
okay because Ian Reich, is okay as Solo. But I would have just put that on the back burner. I would have I would have kept Rogue One, which is I still think is a good one. I would have kept Rogue One a Star Wars story, and I would have made Truce Bakura a Star Wars story. I would have made that a Star Wars story, and I would have
Yeah.
done it as a full movie, um, and it would have been perfect. And that could have just followed Return of the Jedi, and it would have been perfect, and you didn't have to make anything else.
Did
To me,
you did you see the Asaku movie or whatever it was called?
Ahsoka, nah,
Ahsoka. Yeah.
I'm not into Ahsoka. I did on YouTube. There was a few, episodes which
Mhm.
they showed. I saw the episode where Ahsoka walks away from Anakin for the last
Mhm.
time because Anakin was her, Jedi Master and trained her, and she was the Padawan. So yeah, I mean, I'd seen that, but oh yeah, the tall bot in Rogue One was funny. I agree, Apex. I totally agree. Yeah, yeah, he was okay. Do you remember? Who was it? Which was the one that Donnie Yen was in? Yeah, he was in that, right? Rogue One. He was the blind Jedi Master guy, and
Mm.
he's one of my favorite all-time martial artists. Is Donnie Yen, and he was good, and I liked what he showed up in. Um, yeah. See now with Solo, like I said, Alden Ehrenreich was okay, um, and he actually shows up in Ironheart. He's in Ironheart. This thing with the woman, which I'm not into that. No, I don't think I could get into that series, unfortunately. But Donald Glover, I think he made for a pretty good Lando Calrissian in Solo. I really did. Um, well, even the man himself, Billy D. Williams, said, "Hey, you did good for me." Being
Why
younger
did they
like that.
use another actor? Why didn't they get Billy? Is he too old?
Well, yeah, he's too old. But the Solo story was supposed to
Oh, okay.
introduce us to
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Calrissian. Well, how Han was able to get a hold of the Millennium Falcon from a Sabak game and won it from him, and then he,
I
took
did
it.
see Solo at the time. I remember Black Panther was showing, Solo was out, and
Yeah,
one of the Avengers, I guess Endgame was. So I did watch Solo. And
yes.
I did buy it on disc when it came out.
I have Solo. I
Yeah.
don't have Rogue One. I gotta find Rogue One, but I do have Solo on disc. Yes.
The thing of it is with these new Rogue One and others, and some of them are, I like that they homage the original movie, Star Wars, and mimic a lot of the different things in it. And of
Mhm.
course, if they don't say, "Hey, it's a trap," it ain't a Star Wars movie. They've made that into such a
Right.
trope. Um,
It is. Yeah.
but
You know what I was gonna say was, um, and I think I might have mentioned this already, but I'll see if I can repeat myself.
okay,
Um, okay, so on Friday, like I said, I'm going to be doing a panel with Troy Pacelli. Last call. We're going to talk about fan films, and I was going. And I'm very proud to say that I've watched a few Star
hmm
Trek and Star Wars fan films, and some of them have been really great. I mean, they're wonderfully put together. Yes, it took a lot of time, a lot of their own money. You know, even what was the Renegades, the Star Trek Renegades series,
hmm
which has 2 episodes. It took Walter Koenig and a bunch of people to put money together, Patreon and things like that, just to make up those sets, build things and everything, and they're just done so well. And the writing is wonderful. It's
Oh,
wonderful.
I think some of the
And
fan films are outdoing the studios. And when that was
yes,
brought to my attention, it was that Star Trek fan film, and I can't remember the name of it. But did that ever thing get released? The one that
uh,
they told them
yeah,
to stop, they
the
wouldn't want
Star
to.
Trek. Oh, what was the name of
It
that
was
one
called
again?
A something.
Yeah. Um,
Abaca, I don't know something.
no, no,
Star.
no. I'm trying to think
I
of
don't.
it. Yeah, it wasn't Andor.
Did
Oh
that thing
shoot.
ever get released, or is it still pending?
Yeah, well, the yes, well, the third part of it got released, but then which featured the late Richard Hatch, as core.
hmm
He was a Klingon, and it also had the late Tony Todd before he died, who
Wow.
was in it.
hmm
And yeah, it was just a J.G. Hertzler. He played Martok. In a dressed up Klingon, but in this case, he was full. He was an officer, Federation officer, and he's standing out. And Alec Peters, who is a good friend now, he's the one that put it together, and he has his own channel here on YouTube. Alec Peters under YouTube, and yeah, let me look
Well,
that up for you.
both you and I agree. Um, Star Trek Continues is awesome. A good follow up to the original series.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
It was done very respectfully. Had some of the original cast members in there, like Sulu, and the actor that played Apollo in the very first episode.
Yeah, okay, that
Uh,
was called Axanar.
Axanar, yeah.
Axanar.
Was that ever released?
Yeah, he did get the third one released. Uh, that was the one we were talking about, but now he's facing a new legal threat, plagiarism, and he was going to put out 2 more movies,
Oh,
but
that's
he's only
sad.
got the one out. So,
I
yeah,
think
he
the
was going to put
studios
together
are
2
kind of
more.
like pretty threatened by some of these fan-made movies.
Oh, well, Paramount Pictures, like, they
Yeah.
said because he was promoting and maybe shouting to the heavens that this is popular, and you know, one of one of my friends, I won't say his name, but one of my friends said he was stupid by just declaring that he knew what he was doing and all this other stuff, and so Paramount Pictures got on his butt, and well, right now he's caught in legal battles, legal issues. So
Yeah.
he did manage to release Axonar though. So yes,
Is
but
it is it viewable on YouTube?
it is available on YouTube. Yes.
It is.
Yeah,
Can you
just
send the
just type
link?
it.
Can
Just
you
type
put
it under Star Trek. Yeah, let me go find it.
yeah, put it in the chat there and for
Yeah,
everybody if they want
certainly
to go
will.
watch it.
Yeah, certainly will.
I certainly
Well,
want to go watch it.
Yeah, did you? Let's see here. Hold on.
I didn't do anything. Don't start now blaming me for something that
I'm
was
not
done so
blaming
long ago.
you. No,
Neither
no, you
of us.
did make you did
Okay.
make me a wrench. Okay, good. So let
Oh yeah,
me
you,
go
you
find
got a
it.
wrench. You got a wrench.
Well, I know, I know.
I
I
got
gotta
people
find it.
complaining they don't want a wrench over here, on my channel. True story.
Oh, I don't know why people would say they don't want that.
Yeah,
I think it's a badge of honor, personally.
yeah, yeah.
It means that you're respected. That you're a well
I
respected.
respect you to come on here and not talk about the not Hell Hitler and all that.
Well, I can talk about a lot of different things.
Yeah, besides
But it's
that,
but it's yeah, exactly. Okay, so it's called Star Trek Prelude to Axanar. It's on an Axanar channel.
yeah, I've
It's
been wondering about that movie.
yeah, it's 21 approximately 21 minutes long.
Oh, that's
And
all? Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
21 minutes and 9 seconds. That's all it is. And it's called Prelude to Axanar. I'll send you to watch. Um,
Apex Comics says Rogue One was the best prequel
yeah,
in his estimation.
yeah, I think so too. Which is sad in a way because Solo was directed by Ron Howard.
I kind of like
That
those fan movies that are only like 20 something minutes long. I mean, if
that
they
was
got all their stuff right, they can tell a good story. And it doesn't take up it is a commitment to sit down and watch a movie, for an hour and a half.
yeah. Okay, so there it is.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Yeah,
that. I've
you're
been wanting
welcome.
to watch
That is
this.
Prelude to Axanar. So yeah, make sure you check it out. And Alex, or Alec, I'm sorry, Alec Peters, ALEC. Alec Peters Jr. is the one that runs the Axanar studio. He was the one who created it, but then he got in trouble with Paramount Pictures. So, yeah.
That's pretty sad,
Which is,
Um,
it's very, very sad in a way.
so what, in your estimation, where do you think he slipped up? Just
Well, just
bragging?
because of bragging rights and self promotion, and
Yeah.
he did have, like I said, he had some prime past Star Trek series, regulars from other shows, like
Mhm.
J.G. Hertzler, like Tony Todd,
That was in it. Yeah.
that was in it. The lady, I wish I could remember her name, but she was in
Well, at the
things.
time that he did
Richard
the
Hatch.
movies, at the time
Yeah,
that he did the movies, the studios were hurting after the pandemic.
right.
I think that played into it. It's like, hell no, we're struggling already, and then they come in here
Right.
with all that talent and say, well, it's a fan base film, and their effects and everything is better than what the studios are putting out.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, speaking of Star Wars, I was commenting to someone the
Mhm.
other day. There is a Kenobi fan film which came out some time ago, And I think it would be a perfect filler between the end of Revenge of the Sith and before you get to Star Wars. It would be a perfect filler. And what I mean by that is in the storyline, Luke is only 5 years old, but Kenobi is on the planet Tatooine. He's watching over not just Luke, but he's also watching over Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, who adopted him. After his mom died, at the hands of the those I don't know what they call them again. The Sand people. That's it. So anyway, this Kenobi movie, or fan film, very short, and what it is the Imperial. Somehow the Imperial Navy shows up on the planet, and they're looking for someone. And I think it's the fact that even as a 5-year-old, maybe the current Darth Vader knows where Luke is, or at least can place him. And so, maybe that's why he sent this advance guard from the Imperial Empire to Tatooine. Well, they get there, and Kenobi, of course, is there to protect them all. And he kills just about everybody except for one soldier. And he kind of taps into his mind and says, "You're going to forget where you're going. You'll eventually leave, but you're going to forget all of everything that happened here and all that stuff." And, what bothers Uncle Owen is the fact that this old man is watching over their adopted child and, and is really being obtuse, if there's that lack of a better word, obtuse about what his true purpose is. Well, he's supposed to protect. He said it at the end of Revenge of the Sith. He said, "I'm going to protect Luke. I'm going to watch over him," while Bail Organa watches over Leia, right? The twins. So, and they wanted to separate them so that, the new Darth Vader being, previously Anakin Skywalker, could not locate them, his kids.
Right.
Because he was already told
they
that
won't
Padme
get the other.
died. Right. He was already told that Padme died. So, so he was then going to say,
"No!" I'm sorry. I had to do it. I had to do it.
Yeah. You know what bothers me about Revenge of the Sith? That third one?
I've got a comment before we move on. That scene where he's, getting put together, right? That's Frankenstein.
Right. Yes.
That's Frankenstein. No, that's Frankenstein.
It is Frankenstein. Yeah. But the problem I always have is, and this is something I think they're planning on doing, and I really have a question. I really question it. Well, it's the part where he wants to.
Wait, bring it back up. No, I just saw this. The Rex drawing is done, and he took it off. No,
let's do it again. Why'd you take it down, Raul?
Come on, Raul. Whoa,
there it is.
Oh, there it is. Back now. There we go.
Wow, that looks fantastic.
Wow, it looks like a star brand on.
Yeah,
it looks like a star brand on my shirt. The new universe. We got the cosmic shower back there.
Nice.
Yeah. And all my junk in the background. Great. I'm looking very Jesus-like. I like it.
I like it. You're extending the arm. Hey.
Way to go, Raul.
Raul, great work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. So what I was saying was the thing with the younglings. They never really. I mean, okay. So he goes in there and he flashes his lightsaber, and he says, Skywalker. He says, "Something's going on. We're hearing all this stuff." The blonde kid. And then he goes, and then he's going to wipe them out, right? Mm-hmm. So then according to what happens later on, when Yoda tells, Obi-Wan not to look into the tapes, but he goes in to look in anyway, what they're planning on doing is they're going to add a deleted scene where he actually looks into the tape and sees Anakin take out the kids. That's the rumor anyway. when they
Mm,
redo the prequels. Because
yeah.
you remember they added extra scenes for the original, right? For 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
But then for 1, 2, and 3 episodes, you know, they said there was still. Yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
It's coming along.
Yeah, it is coming along good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, for episodes 1, 2, and 3, they want to do the same thing that Lucas did when he, added his extra scenes for 4, 5, and 6. And one of those extra scenes they want to add is a more detailed showing of the tapes, the crude tapes that was
Hmm.
taken inside the younglings part of that temple there on Coruscant, and they want to show Anakin taking them out and wiping out the kids. And I thought that was already inferred, right, in the movie,
Oh, it was.
and
Yeah.
now they're going to add a scene of those kids getting wiped out, and I'm like, why would you do that?
It's kind
That
of
makes no
unnecessary, isn't it?
sense whatsoever. It is unnecessary, and
Yeah.
I've heard it. I've heard the rumor. I said they're going to add different scenes that they left on the cutting room floor to maybe enhance the first 3 films, the prequels, and that's one of the scenes they plan on showing. And I'm like, no, 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 don't do that.
Yeah.
That would be the worst possible thing you
Look,
could do.
inferred is always better, you know?
Right?
Um,
Yeah. Well,
I,
why fix something that's if it isn't what's that saying? If it isn't broken, don't fix it.
if it's not pertinent to the story and advance the
It's
story,
not
then
pertinent, right? That's
why have it in there? I mean, it's
yeah.
just it's a money grab. Oh, we'll show you different. I don't blame Lucas. I thought it was genius. 10 years, and in fact, yesterday was the anniversary of the release of Empire Strikes Back, one of the greatest sequels of all time. You know,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I would
Especially
say
that
Wrath of
moment.
Khan, great sequel. I mean, there's and there's very few remakes and very few sequels that actually uh, are the level of the original. You know, um,
Yes.
but now I would say the Blob remake was a good remake. I think that the Pod people, the um, what was it?
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's another one
Now I
that
liked I liked the original with
I
Kevin
do too.
McCarthy
Oh, I do
back in
too.
the
Yeah.
50s, but I
Mhm.
also did enjoy the Donald Sutherland and Leonard Nimoy and Veronica Cartwright
And think about the
77,
paranoia during
you
that
know,
time of the 50s that was going on, and
and the
people are being
70s.
replaced, and you think they're your neighbors, and they're not. They're the aliens, which is kind of a
Yeah,
metaphor for the communists and anything anti-American at that time.
sure. Yeah, there was a great Charles Bronson movie called Telethon. Do you remember Telethon? That was where
Uh,
the
okay.
Russians had
Well, you
placed.
sold me at Charles Bronson. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Telethon was that movie about uh, Charles Bronson played a Russian investigator. He has to go
Okay.
to the United States because apparently the Russians had placed sleeper agents and in America throughout America. And there's this guy played by Donald Pleasance who wants to create anarchy and chaos. And he goes, he calls these people on the phone and he says, "And I have miles to go before I sleep," and that
Hmm.
wakes them up, and then they go and blow up things, and you know, so. Bronson plays this guy, an investigator from Russia, who has to go look for Donald Pleasance to kill him before he releases all these sleeper agents, to do their dirty work. So it's a great film, and it's spelled Telefon. Yeah, that's it. Telephone, which is the Russian, I guess, way of spelling telephone. So yeah, it's really good. Did you
Interesting.
ever get to
Yeah.
see it? Did
I
you?
don't think I've ever seen that. If I have, and it's been so many years
I'll look
ago, I
for
don't
it.
remember.
I'm sure it's out there somewhere. In,
Love Donald
maybe
Pleasant. I think it's one of those that, have been underrated, as an actor. Of course, I loved him in
yes,
Fantastic Voyage. Loved him in The Great Escape, and he was
Halloween,
actually
the original Halloween. Yeah.
Halloween's, yeah, movies. And
And he played Blofeld in
he
the.
played Blofeld. Yeah. Actually,
And
yeah. I mean, he had
only
quite
live
the eye
twice.
scar there, for Blofeld.
Yeah.
And I think he does make a great villain. I think he was great in the Fantastic Voyage.
He was.
But now when he was doing the Great Escape, he was actually in World War II. He was detained for several months in a concentration camp. So that was old stuff to him. He'd actually been in a Nazi concentration camp during the war.
He was. Yeah. He actually survived the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He did. He went through it. He sure did.
And you can't go through that and not really appreciate life and all of its aspects,
Didn't he appear in one of those didn't he appear in one of those movies that talked about it was the I think it was the one where the Israeli athletes were taken hostage.
During the Olympics?
Yes, and I think
Olympics?
Munich, the Munich 76. And
I
I
wouldn't
think
put
he
it
was
past
in
him.
that. No.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past him at all.
Sure.
Because that would have been something that I would have appealed to him as an actor,
Right.
So, something with a message,
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing better and you're not, like under the weather or stuff. I know you said you were going to take a week off. Did you do it? Did you do it?
Yeah.
Or was that
and
just
I did.
talk? Huh?
Yeah. And I did because I needed
a week
to.
off from streaming, really?
I did for almost a whole week, yeah.
Almost a whole week. Now see, he's hedging, folks. He's hedging.
Yeah.
But it's Mickey. Mikey. I always want to call him Mickey. What the fuck? Anyway, it's 3:16 in the morning. We can say that. Hey.
Oh, sure we can. Yeah, absolutely.
I know people are shocked when I curse, but every now and then. Yeah.
No.
You have to say that real slow. No. Think about it, Mikey. See, I got the name right. I'm great with faces, bad with names. But we are not ever going to sit in a theater again. Mm-hmm. Where a movie like Star Wars has been there for 2 years. We're not going to do it. That was something of its time. Now it's going to go 6 months streaming. It's going to be off to some streaming platform, and it will not stay that length of time. So we were living part of music, movie history, and really didn't even fully appreciate it. We're never going to sit in a TV theater, a theater, and see the film burn.
Right.
And have to wait 10 minutes for them to splice it together. That's not going to happen because we don't use film anymore.
Sure.
So, the way we watch and view movies has changed in our lifetimes.
Yeah. Well, you and I, are about the same age, right? Are you only slightly
I will be
older?
60 in November. I know I don't look it.
Oh, so then are you kidding? I'm 2 months older than you are. I turned 60 in September.
Yes, you are an old man. You are older. You are Canadian or living up there anyway.
Oh, yikes. Oh, yikes. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, see, Rex, you need to start growing the beard like I have. See how I've grown that?
What? So, I want to be Amish. I want to be Mennonite. What the hell? It's all in the hats.
I'm not Amish or Mennonite. I'm just doing this because he likes it. If Suzanne didn't like it, I wouldn't even grow this thing. I'd have it all shaved off. So, she appreciates it. Anyway, I want to say
I've had it just about that long at sometimes.
Yeah, sure. Well, I want to say again, as always, I'm honored and blessed that you allowed me to be up here, Rex. I do need to get some rest because I've got an interview tomorrow with our friend Travel with Lisa MH, who came over from England.
That's
cool. We're gonna hang out with her tomorrow, and Yeah, it's gonna be a rainy day tomorrow, though. Jesus. Yeah,
I
we're
know
gonna have
it's
to wear
the weather
big,
has been
heavy
really
coats and
wild this
everything.
year.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's been really bad. But yeah, is there any other questions for me? Or I really don't have questions for you, sir. I'm looking forward to those box to be done though soon. Yeah.
The meaning of life. Do you understand women? Have you ever figured that out? And yeah, I've got questions. I've always got questions. Are you
I
kidding
know
me?
you got questions.
And I
I'll
really
tell
don't
you this.
need the meaning of life. Already know what the meaning of life is. I've already figured
Sure,
that.
sure. You know the meaning of life. Well,
At least for me,
I like, yeah, I like to say real quick before I go. I like to say that my first two exes were like trial periods. That's what I call them.
Yeah, mine were living
I
hell. But anyway.
Yeah, living hell, but you know what, it's that phrase where it says what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I
It will
truly
stress you.
absolutely believe that.
Yeah.
And I know that I went through hell. I did. I even had to go through therapy. I won't describe that too much, but I had to go after my second divorce. It was terrible on me. Plus, I couldn't give my parents the godson, or I mean, sorry, the grandson or the granddaughter that they
Hmm.
truly wanted. Couldn't do it. I
Yeah.
couldn't give it to them.
Carry on the
And
name.
I was the only one, and I'm the only one of the four of us, because I have a brother, younger brother, two sisters, all who had kids that they were able to give to my mom and dad, and I couldn't do it. And I was just, it really disturbed me, and it broke me up, and it almost got rid of me. So I had to really find myself what I did, and I did, and I was able to get back into normalcy of some kind. I don't think you ever get into normal. I think it's more of you adapt and you get back into some sort of semblance of normalcy, but it's not total normal. It's not like that. And
Right.
then like I said, in 2010, I had just come out of a um, I had a few relationships, but they were just minor things, nothing big. And I said, I feel like I'm empty. I mean, like I had my job, I had my life, everything was fine. I got to still sing when I could sing, and I was like, and it was, and it was fun, but I was still lacking something. And like I said, in March 2010, I found this beautiful woman over here online, and the rest is history. So yeah.
Like
So
a
it's just a wonderful
well-oiled
thing.
machine. Oh, marriage was always meant to be that.
Oh, sure,
Um,
sure.
yeah,
Well, a lot of things my parents taught me, and one of the most important, well, actually, two things. One thing they always taught me was communication is the key, and secondly, when you do get married, you better hope that the wife is smarter than you are.
oh yeah. I
That's what my
mean,
dad said. That's why he
you
married my mom, because she was smarter than him.
well, I think it's you're to complement each other, right? I mean,
Oh,
like
sure, sure, sure.
you have qualities and physical attributes, obviously,
Yeah,
being the stronger. In
mm,
most cases, that's the case. I don't know about yours, but
sure.
anyway,
Well, I mean, the emotional status of, well, because now when she came into our relationship, she had come from four different broken relationships,
yeah.
four different marriages of her own that didn't work. So between the two of us, we had six failed marriages.
And that either
Not so good.
crushes you and embitters you, or you can
It's
turn it around and
supposed to.
it can make you stronger.
It definitely made us both stronger. So
Hmm.
when we were able to start communicating, when we started, first of all, we talked over the internet. Then we started talking on the phone, and then we moved on from there, and we met
Hmm.
each other, for the first time in June of 2015 for her
So, how long
birthday.
did the courting take?
The courting took 6 years. We got married
Wow.
April
Okay.
19th.
You didn't.
Yeah,
I mean, look, you had a couple broken relationships. She had like four,
yeah,
and they just didn't work out. They were devastating, I'm sure, on both of your
totally
parts.
devastating. Yes.
And you weren't going to rush in. Neither of you were going to rush into anything.
No, no,
Yeah,
we really planned this. We really
that's
did
good.
actually. Yeah, I mean, I told her over the phone that I didn't have a ring yet, but I told her in 2014, and it was a very long phone call, like over 6 hours long.
Mm,
So that I mean, so long that my mother, who was trying to reach me that day, couldn't reach me for all the time, and she said, "What the hell happened? Why are we on the phone for all this?" And I said, "Well, I just proposed to my wife, my future wife, over the phone,
mm,
my fiance." For 6 hours. We cried when she said yes to me over the phone. We cried, both of us, for over an hour of that time. So that was amazing. And then by that point, I had already planned to meet her. So, like I said, a full year later in 2015, I went to meet her, and everything changed. And we once we got to meet each other, that was fantastic. And then I came back 3 months later to celebrate my 50th birthday with her first before I did it with my family. Which most of my family members were not happy about, but I wanted to be with her on my special days, so that's what I
mm.
did. And then, the following year in 2016, that's when we got married. And it was a perfect little ceremony. We were in the courthouse in an area that I used to live with my family back a long time ago when we had moved to Arizona, and it was in what they called North Phoenix. And basically, we got married by a judge named Macbeth, Judge Macbeth.
Wow.
And not only
Okay.
that, but she quoted a Shakespearean love soliloquy verbatim by heart that
Mhm.
she said to us before she gave us the rights for marriage. And do you do? Yes, and yes, I
So
do.
would you
you know
say today you're living a balanced life
I'd
in
say
harmony?
so.
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yes.
Yeah. What was out
Well,
of
we've
whack
been
what was out of whack that your marriage corrected, you think, for both of you?
what, like I said, I felt empty. I had
Yeah.
finally, for the first time, back in 2009, I went to visit a friend. She's a fellow musician. She, performs and, in different things. And now she's happily married. She has 2 kids, and she lives over in the Carolinas and sings online and everything. And so, I went to see her when she first started out
Mhm.
um, over in Seattle, and I was there for 4 days and got to watch her perform and all this other stuff. And then when I came home, all of a sudden, I just got this real odd suspicion that I was empty. There was something missing. Like I said, I had a great. I mean, at that point, I could sing with bands. I sang with the Little River Band for a spell. I thought that was fantastic. I was in a
Mhm.
big casino auditorium. Loved it. I went to Vegas. I sang on the Strip, and people heard me, and they gathered around to listen to my voice over speakers going out into the very Strip itself. I went to see some great shows there with my folks. Um, and sang. And I went to sing with other people, a jazz band, and a buddy of mine who used to have his own band that was based on live action and karaoke. So I did that. There was a lot of things I did, but the one thing I was missing was a relationship. And I
Mhm.
really just kind of put it on the back burner. And then I finally said to myself, no, I need somebody in my life. And it would just lucked out that I was perusing for the very first time Facebook, and that's where I found her. So, yeah.
Now, what do you think it corrected in her life? What do
I
you
think
think
it
it added to
corrected the
her life?
fact I think it corrected the fact that there was a legitimate guy that loved her for who she was.
Mhm.
She had never had been loved like that before,
That
and
means a lot.
I
Yeah.
gave her that security. I sincerely love this woman.
Fist
I
bump
would
on
do
that.
anything. I would. Yeah, she's sleeping right now, and I better be sleeping because
Don't bump her.
I need to get some sleep. I got
Okay,
to
well,
get up
I
in the
feel like
morning.
we got ripped off on that first message. Mickey, if you'll humor me just for about 3 more minutes, I want to
Sure.
play this for you, colorized with music, and the full length version of it.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Let's play that.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery.
I think the music adds.
We don't want
to
to
it,
hate
actually.
and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
Hold on for just a sec. I'll be right back. Whoops. Hold on. Hey, girl.
Yeah, awesome speech by the great Charlie Chaplin. I don't see how you beat that. One of the best. If you've not seen The Great Dictator, you need to see it. The double cross instead of the swastika. It's, you know, his later movies. I mean, that one and some of the other series. He actually made one back in the late 20s. That was a silent movie that was supposed to be, that didn't, he had like a little walk on. You didn't know it was him. So he was kind of like Alfred Hitchcock, you know, walking into the films. You know, his last movie that he did with Sophia Loren and Marlon Brando, he had a part in that movie as well, but a very, very short part. But in the one that he did, the serious movie, he didn't make any money in it. You know, it was a great serious movie. It's, you know, worth the price of admission and watching. Sheer genius that only he could bring to film.
Well, careful. Okay. I am so sorry. I did manage to catch the very end.
You did.
And then I had my men's business to go shoot. Yeah, I had to go quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Rex, I will go ahead and just promote myself here real quick. So
Sure, go ahead.
Tomorrow we're going to take the day off from. We're visiting the special friend, as I said, Lisa, from England. She is a videographer. We're going to hang out with her tomorrow. So there will be no A-Team reviews, but I will come back with those the following Thursday. We're into season 4 right now of that. And then, of course, I work with Gorilla on his Walton streams on Fridays. And also, I hope to be doing like I said, a panel with Troy Pacelli and Netters Network involving fan films, which will be late Friday night. And then on Saturday, I'll be doing a watch party with my friend PvP and Sifdan, Sci-Fi Sifdan. We're going to be watching Elan of Troyes from the original series, TOS. And then we'll talk about it afterwards. We're trying to get Dan to become more of a trekker. he's a warzy, okay? That's what they call warzies, is what the people that really love Star Wars. So he is a hardcore warzy, but we're trying to get him to also
I like both.
embrace what is Trek.
One's sci-fi, one's sort of sci-fi fantasy. I don't know what
sci-fi fantasy, right? So we're just trying to get him to that. And then if you do come by Gorilla's Censored Thoughts on Sunday night, he's going to be doing Terminator Dark Fate. And there's a watch party for that. And then the following week, I know he's telling us it's a secret movie he wants to do, but I think I know what it is. I believe it's it's called Lady Terminator, and it came out in 1988. And it's an Indonesian film. It's really out there, really bizarre.
I think maybe I've shown a clip from that before or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you must have.
I don't know. I mean, I show bizarre stuff like that from Turkey and other places where they have like RoboCop that looks like made out of a trash.
Well, this is the only. Well, Gorilla said that it was a special surprise because it's the only Terminator. I mean, a movie that has Terminator in the title, but it's from a different country. Yeah. And I figured it out. It's the Indonesian one. It came out in 1988. It was supposed to be called, well, in the Indonesian language, it was supposed to be called Nasty Hunter. But when it was redistributed to the United States, a very limited time.
I'll tell you one movie that I would like to see on my bucket list, and that's William Dafoe. Now he's getting older, but he could still do it. Jekyll and Hyde, because when he does that with the Green Goblin and Into the Mirror and stuff, you're going Jekyll and Hyde. He could do Jekyll and Hyde.
He could easily do Jekyll and Hyde.
Whether that was edited or all one long scene, brilliant. He probably should have got supporting actors for that performance of Harry Osborn.
Yeah, I'm so the one last thing I want to say though was I was surprised you said they're going to be doing a Passion of the Christ Resurrection.
Yeah, I think that's slated for 2026. I think later this year around August, they're going to start shooting on it. Release next year.
Nice, yeah. Well, I'd be interested since Caviezel's coming back.
Have you seen Caviezel in an older movie with Dennis Quaid, Frequency?
Yep.
That's a great movie. That's a great
It is a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very cool movie. Yeah. And I don't, yeah. And I don't have an issue with oh, that's your mascot? This is my mascot. He's a former Dammit doll, but we call him Murdoch too. I use him for the A-Team requests. Hey, how's it going?
Now, why do they call them Dammit dolls?
Okay, well, if my wife was a little more coherent, she would tell you, but she's been sleeping. So I'll try to explain it the best way I can. She made these special. You know how some people have squeezable, things? They squeeze them when they're upset,
for stress,
pissed off, something, whatever. Yes. So what my wife did was she made a limited amount of these, which she called Dammit dolls. and this one looks really cute. I mean, it's got like cat ears, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what she did is she gave a couple to my parents. She gave a few to some other members of my family. She gave me this one, and you know, and so if we get pissed off, we go boom, 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 boom like that, So because it gives us something to beat up, instead of hurting each other or smashing a TV or crashing things. This is
Mm-hmm.
what you use to get your frustration out.
There you go.
And one day, my dad pissed off my mom, so my mom took one of these that she got and went over and hit him on the head with it. It's a true story. And my parents have been married for over 60 years now.
Yeah.
And but this was something that they said, oh, this will help Suzanne. This will help our marriage. Yeah, if he gets stupid, I'm going to my mom will just go boom,
I'm going
boom,
to bonk
boom.
you. Right.
Go bonky. Yeah.
At least you didn't stuff it with lead weights.
Yeah. Well, and one other thing that my wife and I did was we got rings for each other. Now this is my actual. I don't know if you can really see it. This is my actual wedding ring, and then right above it is a special ring she got for me. Here, I'll try to bring it up to the camera. There we go.
I see that.
So the obsidian one on the bottom is the actual one, but the one above it says "I'm her weirdo," and it says "My weirdo" is on there. And then she has a similar ring which says, I'm her, she is my crazy. So she says, my crazy on hers. So
you need to go to
and
one
then
of
our
those.
cats.
You need to go. When I was engaged to another lady that, developed cancer and we never got married because of that.
Sorry.
I designed a couple of T-shirts, like an arrow that says I'm with her, and then she would wear the one that says I'm with him, with an arrow pointing,
Nice.
That way you could always be on the right or the left, whichever you like, and wear them together.
We share. One of us has a heart, and in the middle of the heart is the key, and one of us has the key. So she has the key to my heart. So I have the heart. She has the key.
Well, I can't top that statement, folks. So we're going to get out of here. Keep collecting. Keep watching Mikey's channel, my channel, and Hell Hydra. That's as far as I'll go, mister.
Yes, well, I
suspected that guy when he came on, but I gave him a shot.
Yeah, sure.
But some people,
I just want to say, as we always say here at Mikey's Who's For, God bless America. God bless Canada. God bless this beautiful world we live in. Mm-hmm. We only have one. Let's take care of this thing, okay, before we go meet our final maker. And, of course, peace from our channel. And, and by the way, my cats are the nuts. So we got the weirdo, the crazy, and the two nuts.
And I see what's behind you. Save Mikey the cat litter, please.